Ret Jiang is a medical genius and also a patient with depression. I became a doctor to save him, and he committed suicide for his first love. I went back to when I was 18 and started to keep my distance from him. But he wasn't happy about it. I asked him, "You know I've liked you since childhood, right?" He avoided the question. "But I can't live without you. Can't we just keep being friends forever?" I laughed. "Ret Jiang, you don't deserve it." At 32. Ret Jiang won a world-class medical award. That night he went to accept the award. I decorated the hotel room, waiting for him to come back to celebrate, but I only received the news of his suicide. The room was dark, in the scent of freshly cut roses. I vomited uncontrollably, drenched in cold sweat. Feeling as if I had just been pulled out of water, endless guilt became a big net, suffocating me. 2 years ago, after countless failed experiments, Ret Jiang's emotions broke down again. He was reviewing everything in the darkroom, even talking to himself. Finally, he rushed to the kitchen, took a fruit knife, and said, "Give it back to me." While saying he wanted to kill someone, he seemed to be facing someone, but the knife pointed at himself. I saw him with a knife through the surveillance, and I immediately climbed over the balcony into his house, but it was still too late. The knife had already plunged into flesh. "Ret Jiang, don't move." He was wearing a grey robe. His hair was a bit long, covering part of his eyebrows and eyes. His silhouette was thin, and his face showed a fragile, sickly appearance. When he turned around and saw me, he was full of confusion and helplessness. I slowly approached him, took his hand, and told him to let go, not to touch the fruit knife at his waist. Whether it was deeper or pulled out, the situation would only get worse. After calming down, he apologized to me. "I'm sorry, it's okay." I used a towel to cover the area around his wound, looked up and forced a smile as I asked him, "Did you forget to take your medicine again?" "I didn't mean to." He wiped the tear from my eye, his eyes deep as he looked at me. "Is it hard?" "It's not hard, I'm just too afraid of losing him." I took his long fingers and pressed them against my face, begging him, "Ret Jiang, don't die, please." He didn't respond to me, just told me not to cry. Maybe from that moment on, I had already sensed the answer in my heart. I could never hold on to him. Ret Jiang has depression, is gloomy, cold, and not easy to talk to, but his professional skills are strong. He is the leader of the whole team. I initially chose the biology department because of him. Later, I really grew to like this subject, and the sense of achievement after overcoming each challenge gave me the motivation to keep going. But Ret Jiang seemed to have an almost obsessive fixation on conquering this disease. He managed to do it in 5 years. On the day the third phase of the clinical trial was successful, he finally showed a genuine smile. His crimson eyes were filled with moist ecstasy, and he tightly embraced me. Talia Shia. I won. At that moment, I thought I could truly have him. Soon after, Ret Jiang received a call, informing him that he had won the Overseas Medical Award, before boarding the plane. He was extremely anxious, muttering that there wasn't much time left, that he was going to be late. I thought he was having another episode, so I hurried him to take his medicine and kept comforting him. "Ret Jiang, it's okay, the experiment was successful, we will have plenty of time to prove it." He gradually calmed down, and his raised eyebrows inadvertently showed a hint of sharpness. "Is it really okay?" I firmly told him, "It's still in time," until I discovered his secret. I didn't realize how ridiculous I was. I took his ashes back to my country alone. I returned to Ret Jiang's residence and sorted through his belongings. The white shirt on the sofa still seems to carry his scent. I put the dry-cleaned coat into the wardrobe. The table is covered with his handwritten drafts, stacks of documents, and lab equipment. I have organized them one by one, until I saw the name written on the back of his draft paper, Lara Chen, dense, with force penetrating the paper. I went crazy. I smashed Ret Jiang's locked drawer, discovered a secret he had kept all his life. He carefully cut out Lara Chen from the high school graduation group photo. There was also a cassette tape in the drawer, recording his thoughts since he was 18. It turned out, in his grand youth, he had once secretly loved someone so humbly. He chose biology just because Lara Chen had a certain genetic disease. Over the years, he studied hard, trying to overcome this disease. And I thought it was due to the stubbornness of a genius, but it was all for her. The "I'm out of time," he said, was because Lara Chen had been admitted to the emergency room again. He would secretly stand outside her hospital room at night, praying to the gods not to take her away. He would often contact her attending physician to discuss her condition. He had secretly loved her for many, many years. The day Lara Chen died was the day Ret Jiang went abroad to receive an award. It is said that after receiving the award, he got a phone call and then jumped off the building and committed suicide. That's a case of suicide due to love. The moment I found out the truth, I broke down. Ret Jiang's obsessive love for Lara Chen made me a complete fool. How could he do this to me? I hate myself for not discovering this secret earlier. I don't know, when Ret Jiang saw me cry again and again, and when I was living in the fear of losing him all year round. Unable to sleep at night. What was he thinking? Even once, he could have clearly told me that he doesn't like me, that he only sees me as his sister. I would not always live in false fantasies. How much I loved him before, now I hate him that much. I didn't attend Ret Jiang's funeral. I locked myself in the room, crying silently, from day to night, using alcohol to numb the painful heart. It's really painful. I can pay for my own preferences, admit that I loved the wrong person, and pay the price for it. But I can't suddenly pull away from a relationship that has lasted over a decade. I also can't forgive his years of deception. Ret Jiang's pain is no less than the death of my soul. Ret Jiang killed me twice in total. Once was his death, once was his secret. I hate him. 3 months later, I was unable to work due to severe depression, and I was hospitalized for electroshock therapy. During the 12th electroshock therapy, I lost consciousness in intense pain. Left this world with a lifetime of hatred and regret. I didn't expect to open my eyes and find myself back at 18. I couldn't even tell if I had entered another world after death or if I was just having a big dream. My classmate Song Ning put her arm around my shoulder, looking excited. Talia Shia, what birthday gift did you prepare for Ret Jiang? I was sitting in a private bar owned by Ret Jiang, watching my former senior high school classmates as if it were another world. This is the winter vacation of senior year. Seeing that I didn't speak, Song Ning opened the bag next to me. Wow, this is definitely hand-knitted by you. Silver grey is very suitable for the Prince Ret Jiang. I looked at the scarf and my eyes turned red. When I was organizing Ret Jiang's belongings, I also found this scarf, which he often wore. He doesn't like me, yet he gave me so many illusions of being favored. How annoying. The lights in the bar suddenly went out, leaving only the stage lighting. The young man Ret Jiang, wearing a white shirt and black pants, sat at the piano and began playing Secrets Can't Be Told. It was his favorite piano piece. I once asked Ret Jiang, "Why do you like this piece?" He said, "There's no reason, I just like it. Now, I understand everything. Lara Chen is the secret he cannot say." Looking at his familiar yet unfamiliar figure, my heart is now calm. Love did not disappear suddenly. I no longer loved him long before discovering his secret, long before those 12 shocks. My eyes fell on Lara Chen in the crowd. She was wearing a beige sweater and quietly watching the stage. My gaze was gentle and tender. Perhaps at 18 I wouldn't have noticed, but now I understood at a glance. She also likes him. Originally, it was not just Ret Jiang's one-sided love. They had a mutual crush. Last life, on Ret Jiang's 18th birthday, he rented a quiet bar and invited the whole class. Song Ning said that Ret Jiang is reserved and embarrassed to spend his birthday alone with me, so he invited the whole class. I also thought that was the case at the time, but now, I have become clear-minded. I took the gift bag and quietly left when no one was looking. At the moment I reached the door, I heard Ret Jiang's voice, cold yet filled with suppressed sobs. He said, "I like you," amid the classmates' teasing. I clearly heard the name he shouted after, Lara Chen. "I like you, Lara Chen." The next moment, the whole room fell into deathly silence. This is something that didn't happen in the past life. Everyone used to think that I and Ret Jiang were childhood friends, inseparable, and would end up together. Everyone thought he suddenly started studying hard to take the same university as me. Everyone thought he liked me, but he never liked me. The one he was going to confess to wasn't me. I couldn't help but look back for a moment. I want to see his happy expression. I have seen too many of his desperate looks, and also seen his patched-up body, but I have never seen his true happy face. Under the lights, Ret Jiang's long eyelids curled up, his eyes were red, and he stared intensely at Lara Chen below the stage. Loving someone is impossible to hide, and happiness is also impossible to hide. This time, he won't have any regrets anymore. Will he, Ret Jiang, if this is a daydream? Then I'm returning your dream to you. I don't want to know why Ret Jiang suddenly confessed. I don't care anymore. At this moment, my hatred for him even faded away. I slowly closed the door of the bar, stepping on the snow with each step. It was too cold, freezing my eyes. It's not that I was sad. One last time. I'll cry one last time, not for anyone, but for the brave and sincere self I once was. He doesn't like me doesn't mean I did anything wrong, nor does it mean I'm not good. I didn't do anything wrong, I'm fine. When I reached the back alley, I threw the scarf into the trash without hesitation. I didn't know how far I had walked or where I had arrived, until my legs became weak and I finally crouched by the roadside where no one was. The sky started to snow at some point. It fell on my skin, cold and bone-chilling. My vision gradually became clear. I heard a faint footstep, looked up, and saw Shen Chong, tall and elegant, wearing a black trench coat and down jacket. Holding a black umbrella over my head, his gaze was strange, as if waking from a beautiful dream, carrying a hint of regret. Shen Chong, Ret Jiang's former psychologist. Before my previous life ended, I asked him, "Do you know that Ret Jiang has someone he really likes?" He remained silent for a while and told me, "I cannot reveal patient confidentiality. I remember he once tried to snap me out of my daydream, but I refused, unlike his previous life, where he wore gold-rimmed glasses and had a cold expression. Shen Chong now doesn't wear glasses and still has a youthful look." I looked at him in confusion. At this point in time, we probably don't know each other yet. Why is he looking at me like that? Then I thought again about how every time I accompanied Ret Jiang to the hospital in my previous life, the way he looked at me and the things he said to me, I just feel ashamed. He already knew. He knew I was a lonely fool. But he never once clearly told me. He really is very professional. I feel frustrated. But there's no reason for it. He didn't do anything wrong, and I shouldn't have yelled at him. I stood up to leave, but because I had been crouching for too long, my legs went numb, and I twisted my ankle. Just as I was about to fall, someone grabbed my arm. I lost my balance and fell into the other person's arms. "Be careful." His voice trembled a little. "It's none of your business. I don't even know you." He said nothing, just put the umbrella in my hand. "I'm sorry." Inopportune apology. Mysterious. I watched his back as he left. He's really a strange person. I sorted out my feelings after rebirth and returned home according to my memory. The house is very quiet. After my parents divorced and each had a new family, I started living on my own. My father left the house to my mother and me. After my mother remarried, I didn't want to go with her, and besides, I was already an adult and could take care of myself, so I stayed alone. At that time, my mother clearly sighed with relief. "It's okay, I never was close to them anyway, so I don't feel lonely." My parents met through an arranged marriage. They got together when they were of age. Each of them has their own career. Neither was willing to compromise. They were busy with work and couldn't take care of me, so they hired a nanny to take care of me. The nanny didn't care much about me. I was addicted to games when I was young, and they didn't pay attention to me. They are the two people who never attend parent-teacher meetings. But when I had poor exam results, they blamed each other for not educating me well. Then she turned her attention to me, fired the nanny who took care of me, smashed my computer and game console, took away my allowance, and locked me on the balcony to reflect. At that time, Ret Jiang's days were not going well either. His mother had just passed away, and his relationship with his father was also tense. He often hid on the balcony listening to his portable CD player, with the tape being his mother's favorite. His father wanted a divorce, but his mother disagreed. One night, she drove out to catch him in an affair and had an accident. Never returning again, Ret Jiang has hated his father ever since, becoming rebellious, skipping school, and getting into fights, with his grades plummeting. The two of us were like two unwanted orphans, growing up with each other's company. When he was made to stand on the balcony, I passed him food from my balcony. When he got injured from a fight, I passed him medicine over the balcony. When he got the last score in the exam, I was clueless and helped him organize his error set. Never thinking that he was trying to pretend to be a slacker. On New Year's Eve, he was alone on the balcony smoking, and I stayed with him on my balcony at home. I will light the fairy wand at 12 o'clock and wish him a happy new year. He said I was childish, but he would still prepare New Year's money for me. They are all memories with knives, not worth cherishing. I sorted all the things related to Ret Jiang, from childhood, the birthday gifts he gave me, the comic books he left in my room. After putting it in the box, I went downstairs and ran into Ret Jiang coming back. I didn't look at him, and after throwing the things into the trash, Ret Jiang followed me. "What did you throw away?" he said in a relaxed tone. I didn't feel like answering. He asked me again, "Why did you leave early? Are you upset?" I avoided him and walked into the hallway. "Talia, what are you upset about? Even if I am with Lara Chen, we are still friends, right?" I sighed. If I had discovered his secret before he died in the previous life, I would have definitely acted like a scold, arguing and making a scene with him. Fortunately, it's not like that. Fortunately, now when facing him, I can be sufficiently composed. "Ret Jiang, no matter who you date, I won't be upset. It's your own business, and it's none of my concern. I also don't want to be your friend anymore. You are smart and can easily get first place in exams, but I can't. And I don't want to waste any more time on you. I don't want you to affect my studies, so please stay away from me and don't bother me anymore." I thought I had made it clear, but when I left, he tightly grabbed my wrist. It hurt a lot. I frowned and turned back to him. "Ret Jiang, what are you doing right now?" In the dim hallway, his face was indistinct. "Did I affect your studies? Then why didn't you say so before? Why are you saying it now?" I wanted to say it long ago, but I just didn't know how to bring it up. "You're lying. I feel bored." I don't know why he suddenly became so awkward. He doesn't need me as a friend. "Ret Jiang, I hope you don't always think only of yourself and also consider other people's feelings. I don't want to be your friend, and that's my right." I firmly, bit by bit, pried his fingers open and went upstairs. After returning home, I found my phone and dialed a number I had long memorized. "Professor Zhong, I'm sorry to bother you, but I have something very important I want to tell you. Please." After that day, my relationship with Ret Jiang began to drift apart. That winter vacation, I was busy reorganizing my high school knowledge. I heard from Song Ning that Ret Jiang took Lara Chen to see Jay Cho's concert. Song Ning said she wanted to see him regret. I didn't take it seriously. How could he possibly regret it if he was willing to risk his life for the person he loved? But he still affected my mood. I shook my head and hung up on Song Ning's call, then focused again on doing exercises. After the winter vacation, we would go back to school. Ret Jiang and Lara Chen didn't hide their relationship. Whether it was lunchtime or during breaks, the two of them were always together. Ret Jiang would patiently explain problems to her, get her hot water, buy her meals, stay for evening study sessions, walk with her after class, and take her home, my classmates, while watching the play. Inevitably looked at me with pitiful eyes, but I didn't care. I re-enrolled in the biology department of another university, not wanting to have anything to do with Ret Jiang anymore. That day after school, I was working on the last big question of the math test when I suddenly felt a shadow over my head. I looked up and saw Lara Chen, who seemed to want to say something but held back. She looked guilty at me and then handed me a cup of milk tea, whispering, "I'm sorry. You haven't done anything to apologize for. The milk tea is still warm. Take it." "No, thank you." I had gathered my papers and was getting up to leave, but she ran out from behind and insisted on giving me the milk tea, which I pushed away. She lost her balance and tripped over a chair while stepping back. Just as she was about to fall, I was about to reach out and help her, but I was pushed away forcefully, hitting my abdomen on the corner of the table, causing sharp pain. Ret Jiang's voice was filled with anger. "Talia, are you crazy?" He tightly hugged Lara Chen. She hurriedly explained, "It's not Talia, it was my own mistake." Ret Jiang didn't let up and yelled at me, "Don't you know she can't get hurt? Are you trying to kill her?" "Talia, if you have any complaints, take them up with me. Don't touch her." A surge of anger rose up in me. What does it matter if she gets hurt? If you're so worried about her getting hurt, then stay away from me. I'm not part of your play. I don't have time for your cliché idol drama. Don't bother me. After saying that, I left from the back door. A faint voice of Ret Jiang can be heard behind. "Are you hurt? Does it hurt? Sick? Really thinking you're the male and female leads of a novel, seeing everyone as a villainous side character." Last night I was doing problems at home when my stomach started to hurt more and more. I lifted my clothes and found a purple spot. It seemed nothing was wrong. But in the early morning, I started vomiting and having diarrhea, my stomach cramps, and I was sweating cold all over. I crawled out of the bathroom, trembling, and called for an ambulance, then collapsed on the floor. I don't know how long it had been, but I felt someone calling me, Talia, wake up. I opened my eyes and found Ret Jiang looking worried. The balcony door was opened. I was about to question him about why he entered my house through the balcony. But he immediately picked me up and carried me. The emergency personnel have been knocking on the door outside, but there was no response. I was worried that something had happened to you, so I climbed in through the balcony. He carried me all the way to the ambulance downstairs and held my hand as we got in. I wanted to take it out, but I had no strength. I was diagnosed with acute gastritis at the hospital. I was sitting on a chair getting an IV, and he was sitting nearby. I couldn't move. So I just gave up and closed my eyes, leaning back on the chair. His hand rested on my neck, and the cold fingertips made me shiver. Lean on me, it's more comfortable. I frowned and struggled to get free. Don't touch me. How much longer are you going to cause trouble? I'll overlook you breaking into my house. But if you don't want me to call the police, don't touch me. I'm disgusted. I didn't look at his face, and I closed my eyes again. My stomach was still aching, and I really didn't have the energy to argue with him. I fell asleep again, feeling drowsy until 7 in the morning, and I finally recovered. But Ret Jiang never left. I have taken leave for you. You can rest at home today. I didn't respond. I took the medicine, walked out of the hospital gate, called a taxi, and ignored Ret Jiang, who followed me. He got into the taxi from the other side when I was getting in. Let's go home together. It's on the way anyway. There seemed to be some flattery in his tone. I didn't say a word. He was still behind me when we got to the front door of my home. Before opening the door, I turned back and said tiredly, Ret Jiang, even if this situation happens again, don't appear in front of me again. I don't want to see you. Is it because I'm with Lara Chen that you hate me so much? What did Lara Chen do to you? Or did I do something to offend you? I didn't mean to push you yesterday. I was just scared that something might happen to Lara Chen. She's different from us. Even a small injury could cost her life. I was just too anxious. If you're angry because of this, I apologize to you. I finally realized that Ret Jiang had been avoiding a certain issue all along. And I want to get past this and continue being my friend. His heart is really big, so I stared into his eyes and asked, do you like me? Ret Jiang lowered his eyes, clearly not wanting to answer. Ret Jiang, do you like me? I persisted, although I knew the answer. I just wanted him to say it out loud. I don't like you, but I can't leave you. I don't want to lose you as a friend. Talia, can't we just stay friends forever? Do you have to force me to choose? Is the condition of being your friend that I can never be with anyone else? He looked at me accusingly, as if I had done something terrible. How come Ret Jiang can say these words even though he clearly knows I like him? Ret Jiang, people can live without being mean. You ignored my feelings before, but now I don't like you anymore, and I don't want to be your friend either. It has nothing to do with Lara Chen or anyone else, it's just that I don't want to anymore. I don't want to see you anymore. I never asked you to choose between us. It's you who kept pushing me. Even if you stay single for the rest of your life, we will never be the same as before. Did I make myself clear? Why? Because you don't deserve it. After getting home, I locked the balcony door. After taking the medicine, I fell drowsily into bed and noticed someone seemed to be standing in the corner outside the balcony, casting a long shadow on the ground. I didn't understand Ret Jiang before my rebirth. I still can't understand him after my rebirth. How could he be afraid of losing me? When he jumped off the building to die for someone else in his past life, didn't he already completely abandon me? Isn't losing me an irreversible choice he made? Why does it now seem like I'm the bad one? 100 days before the college entrance exam, the school celebrated its anniversary. At the party, Lara Chen and Ret Jiang played the piano together, performing The Secret Cannot Be Told. The students below were cheering. I remembered the recording Ret Jiang left on the tape. In his second year of high school, he was still a carefree school bully. Once, after getting into a fight outside, Lara Chen saved him, but she accidentally got injured. On the way to the hospital with Lara Chen, who was bleeding heavily, he carried her as if she were a fragile piece of porcelain. That was the beginning of his infatuation. The feelings of youth come without reason and with great intensity. Lara Chen has always been a well-behaved girl. Even someone like him can feel inferior, thinking he doesn't deserve the other person. So he stops pretending and starts studying hard, no longer causing trouble. When I heard the content on the tape, I was so angry that I shook all over. Now my heart is calm. After the college entrance exam, I chose a university in the south, which is the exact opposite of my previous life's choice. If nothing goes wrong, I and Ret Jiang will never meet again in this life. The last class reunion, I wasn't going to attend, but I ended up going because Song Ning forced me. The teacher also tolerated the students' drinking behavior. Ret Jiang and Lara Chen sat across from me. Song Ning sat next to me, and she asked in my ear, "Do you know that Ret Jiang and Lara Chen applied to the same university?" "I don't know and I'm not interested." At first, I thought you were just pretending to have a toothache, but I didn't expect you to really not care. It's true, once you go to college, there are so many handsome guys. I clinked glasses with her. If not, it's okay, a bright future is better. During the banquet, I ended up drinking a few more cups, and later my stomach started to feel uncomfortable. I made an excuse to go to the restroom and vomited, then wanted to leave early. As I left the restroom, I saw Ret Jiang smoking by the window in the hotel corridor. He looked up, staring at me with a deep gaze. "Talia Xia, come here." I let out a light laugh, thinking he was calling a dog. Call and they come, dismiss and they go. I waved my hand and walked towards the other end of the elevator, going down to the ground floor. When I reached the hotel entrance, Ret Jiang ran out from behind. He smelled of strong tobacco, and I wanted to move away, but he kept pressing forward. "Why did you go to such a far university? We had said we would take the same university exam, right?" The summer evening breeze blew, and I comfortably closed my eyes, because I like it, and I can go wherever I want. It's my freedom. You can't control me. Then came the long silence. I opened my eyes and looked at Ret Jiang, who looked unhappy, and smiled at him. "We've been estranged for 6 months. Have you not gotten used to it yet?" "Ret Jiang, your withdrawal period is a bit long." He was stunned for a moment, then said, "No, not what?" I took a taxi and didn't ask further. Before getting in the car, I said to his direction, "Ret Jiang, we've been together since childhood. You're just not used to it now, but we will eventually part ways. In the future, we will each have our own careers, our own families, and gradually lose contact, sooner or later, disappearing from each other's lives. You will eventually get used to a future without me. I once loved him so much that I could get used to life without him even after he died. What's so hard about him? Don't make things hard for yourself." Ret Jiang, goodbye. After getting into the taxi, I closed my eyes and leaned back on the seat. The driver suddenly said, "That guy behind just ran after the car. Should we stop?" "No, I won't stop for him. I have my own life, and my own regrets." The next morning, I took the high-speed train south. Before leaving, I folded my old phone card and replaced it with a new one I bought, keeping only Song Ning's contact information. In my previous life, she warned me countless times to leave Ret Jiang, but I gradually drifted away from her. This time around, I won't let pig fat cloud my heart, and I won't lose my best friend. That year, there was a big event in the academic world. A professor at a university in Beijing discovered an academic fraud incident. 16 years ago, an overseas academic study that laid the foundation for a genetic disease was proven to be fabricated. This is also why our experiments in the previous life ultimately ended in failure, becoming a regret of my life. When I found out about this, my mindset completely broke down. This means that we have spent a lot of money and effort for 5 years on a futile effort. Our achievements were all fake, and we failed to save a single patient. Ret Jiang left with glory, and the consequences of the defamation are all borne by the rest of us who are still alive, after being betrayed by Ret Jiang. I also suffered a fatal blow in my career. My mind completely broke down, and I developed severe depression. I wanted to start over, but couldn't get through the electroshock therapy. On the first day of my rebirth, I immediately told my former professor about this. Fortunately, he, upholding the spirit of seeking truth, really started researching that paper, conducting countless experiments, and finally proved the truth. It was despair, but also new hope. Hopefully, this time, we'll have enough time to save countless Lara Chens, not for Ret Jiang, but for every patient. 7 years later, before I graduated from graduate school, I received Song Ning's wedding news. When I left, my city was hit by an earthquake. When the earthquake happened, Ret Jiang climbed into my balcony from the other side, entered my balcony, and hugged me tightly, just like when we were teenagers. He said, "Talia Shia, I like you, we didn't have time to escape." Later, we were buried under the ruins. In the darkness, he held me in his arms and said a lot of things. He said, "I thought you would always be by my side. I thought no matter what I did, no matter how bad I was, you would never leave me. But you suddenly left. You threw away the scarf I gave you. You threw away everything related to me. You left me, Talia Shia. I regret it. I can't lose you. I don't want anything else. I just want you. But I'm afraid to see you. I'm afraid to hear you say things like you don't want me. I'm afraid you really don't like me anymore. I'm afraid to face you. So I came here secretly after graduation, secretly living next door to you, hiding from you, Talia Shia. I miss you so much. If it weren't for this earthquake, I wouldn't have had the courage to see you. I don't want to lose you again." He said, "I like you." In the dim light, I remembered Zhong Ailing's Love in a Fallen City, because Hong Kong was occupied. The main characters eventually ended up together. When my city collapsed, Ret Jiang said he liked me. How absurd. Later, when we were rescued, he still tightly held my hand. To protect me, Ret Jiang injured one of his legs. I decided to reconcile with him. Last time he deceived me. This time he gave it back to me. I left before he was discharged from the hospital. Song Ning postponed her wedding date for me. After attending her wedding, I returned to my hometown, which I hadn't been to in 7 years. I found that the cactus on the balcony was still alive and had bloomed small yellow flowers. "Ret Jiang, why are you doing this again?" I had been waiting at home for 2 days, and finally Ret Jiang came. With red bloodshot eyes and limping, he looked with red eyes and asked me, "Are you really not taking me anymore?" I showed him the ring on my left ring finger. "Ret Jiang, I got married during my 2nd year of graduate school. But I didn't tell anyone because I was too busy and never had a wedding banquet." "You're lying to me, Ret Jiang. It's always been you lying to me. I've never lied to you. But I've never seen you bring someone home." I sighed. Because he studied abroad, we don't meet each other very often. In the past year, I have gone abroad to see him. Ret Jiang looked desperate. He said, "I was wrong. I really was wrong. I regret it. I like you. Always you. I promise, I will never lose you again. I just want you. Talia Shia, please don't leave me. I only have you." He knelt down and hugged my waist. I could feel his tears. It's too late. He is despicable, cowardly, and greedy, a spineless coward who is destined to never get what he wants. "Are you also reincarnated? That's why you don't forgive me?" He asked me in a hoarse voice. I realized it long ago when he proposed to Lara Chen at 18. Ret Jiang was also reincarnated, so he was eager to make up for his regrets from the previous life. I chose to let him go, but if he had chosen Lara Chen, why was he regretful? Why is he always regretful? No matter what choice he makes, he is never satisfied. Last time was like this. This life is still like this. Ret Jiang is really too greedy. Ret Jiang, I should go. He is waiting for me downstairs. I slowly pushed away Ret Jiang, leaving him alone in the darkness. "You know, without you, I would die." "Ret Jiang, your life is your own. No one else is responsible for your life except you. So, don't try to moralize me. Even if you really choose to die, I won't be sad anymore. The tears that should have been yours, I have already shed. I don't owe you anything. I never did. You don't owe me anything either. We have long been without debts to each other. Let me go, and let yourself go as well." When I arrived downstairs, Shen Chong was standing by the car waiting for me. "Did you finish talking?" I nodded. He walked towards me and hugged me tightly, his body trembling. "Mr. Shen, are you so insecure? When you were chasing me, you weren't like this at all." Shen Chong whispered in my ear, "If I were by your side when the earthquake happened, that would have been good. It's okay. It matters. I don't want you to be alone. I have applied for early graduation. I won't leave this time. Talia Shia, let's get married. No matter what you do, I will support you, take care of you, and love you." "Okay." I kissed my lover's cheek and said, "I will also support you, take care of you, and love you." My meeting with Jiang Chong was always something I thought was an accident. It wasn't until many years after our marriage that he told me. That day when it snowed, he met me. It wasn't an accident. One day, he had a dream. In my dream, he was Ret Jiang's psychiatrist, and from his mouth, he learned of my existence. Every time I accompanied Ret Jiang for his treatment, he wanted to tell me the truth, but due to his professional ethics, he ultimately chose to remain silent. Until later, he pieced together a version of me from Ret Jiang and became increasingly interested in me, eventually falling in love with me without realizing it. But before he could confess, I died from electroshock therapy after my death. He attended my funeral as a stranger. After waking from the dream, he could not get out of it. He found me based on the memory from the dream. On that snowy day, he held an umbrella for me. Later, he graduated from university and chose our school's psychology graduate program, and started pursuing me when I was a junior. He had planned to give up studying abroad, but I wouldn't allow it. He finished his postdoctoral studies abroad and came back, and never left me again. I once asked him, had he ever thought that it was just a dream, all fake, and what if he couldn't find me? He said, if I don't look for you, I probably will regret it for the rest of my life. Maybe others would think he's crazy, but I know he really did regret for a lifetime. Chen Chong, I won't let you regret anymore. In my 29th year, I won a world-class Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine, and our team successfully cracked a genetic disease research. After that, I never heard anything about Ret Jiang again. On the day we sold the old house, Shen Chong went back with me to clean up the clutter. He found an old cassette tape in the drawer, which was labeled Summer. Shen Chong asked me, what is this? I don't remember, probably something unimportant. He seemed to suddenly understand something, then asked me carefully, can I throw it away? Of course.